Hi, konnichiwa everyone. My name is Pui Ling. Today, I'm actually calling from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Today, I'm going to share with you more information about UWA College, which is a brand new college that offer pathway to University of Western Australia in Perth, Australia. Okay, the first thing that I would like to talk about is really the location of the university. If you are not familiar with Australia, you can which I will show you a map later. Perth is actually in the West Australia, in the state which is called Western Australia. So this is really a snapshot of Perth City. We call Perth a city of opportunities. Reason being, even though the pandemic hits, but Perth still achieved 3.5% average economic growth for the last 10 years. Other than that, Perth also has the higher average wages, which is 8% higher than national average. This is a good news for students because if you're looking at taking up some part-time job when you are studying in Perth, you are actually getting higher wages than students studying in other state or other city in Australia. And another reason why we call Perth a city of opportunity is, as you can see from the last point here, 32% of companies that are listed in the Australian stock exchange market have their headquarters in Australia. There are actually 723 companies of those. They choose Perth over other big cities like Melbourne or Sydney. That's why there must be a reason why they choose Perth over Sydney and Melbourne, which is in the East Coast. And probably I can tell you more later in my next slide. Okay, well, not too sure if you have visited Perth. So to me, Perth is actually a very lively city that it is actually very easy for international students to live in and to enjoy the lifestyle. So the first point, affordable cost of living, as I have been mentioning, if you refer to the map here, Perth is actually in the west coast of Australia, as compared to big cities in the east coast, such as Melbourne, Sydney, or even Queensland. The living cost in Perth is actually much more affordable. Every year, international students spend about 19 to about 21,000 Aussie dollar 1 year for living costs, which is sufficient to cover their accommodation, food, and other expenses. If you are studying in Melbourne or Sydney, I believe sometimes students spend up to 26,000 Aussie dollar a year for their living costs. And in the middle here, as you can see, Perth is actually in the same time zone as 60% of the world population. So for example, Malaysia is actually in the same time zone as Perth. As for Japan, Perth is just 1 hour behind. So for example, it is 2 p.m. my time, but it is 3 p.m. your time in Japan. So this actually make it really easy for students to actually stay connected with their family or friends when they are studying in Perth, because you do not have to worry about the time difference when you want to pick up the phone and call your friends or your parents. Apart from that, Perth is also ranked 6th most livable city in the world, top 10 healthier cities in the world, as well as the sunniest capital city in Australia. So when we say Perth is the most livable city, one of the most livable city and also healthiest, this is actually ranked according to the health facility in the city, of course, living costs, weather, and education, so on and so forth. That's why Perth, it makes Perth really a very, very comfortable place for international students to study and to live in. And well, if you haven't checked out the Australian map, here is a map on the right. So as you can see, this map actually gives you an idea of how Perth is located in the perfect time zone, which is in the same time zone with 60% of the world population. Okay, and I know sometimes international students might feel a bit panicked if this is your first time thinking about studying overseas, oh, I do not have any friend and I'm not too sure how is it going to be like to study in Perth. You do not have to worry about this because Perth is a very safe, friendly and welcoming city for international students. So as you can see from the statistic here, 37% of Western Australia population are actually born overseas. So take my team, for example, I have a colleague who is actually from Singapore, but living in Australia now. I also have a director who are actually, well, he is an Australian, but at the admission team, we have a colleague from China as well. So the environment, actually in general, Australia is a very, very international country for international students. And in Western Australia, we have people coming from 190 countries speaking 270 languages. And I am very sure Japanese will be one of them. And before pandemic, there are actually close to 60,000 international students in Perth. Of course, we do not have the statistic now ever since the pandemic hit. But the good news is Australia has already opened the border. So students can actually fly into Australia to study again. And from the picture here, you can see some of the maybe places to visit for international students. So there is an Optus Stadium, and then University of Western Australia is located very, very near to the Swan River, which is within walking distance from the campus. There's also King Park, which is even larger than, I think it is called the Central Park in New York. There's also Chinatown, and at the bottom in the middle, you will see the famous quokka, which is an animal which can only be found in Western Australia. Next to the very cute animal, it is actually Thor, the main character from the movie Thor, if you recognize his face. Okay, and of course, in the state of Western Australia or in Perth, University of Western Australia is ranked number 1. It is the highest ranked university in Western Australia or Perth. Here are some of the study areas that you can choose from if you are going to study at UWA. So there are architecture, design and planning, health and biomedical sciences. University of Western Australia is offering medicine program. There are also business and commerce program with different major. There are also humanities and social sciences, law, data and computer science, education, physical sciences and mathematics, engineering, agricultural, environmental and biological sciences, as well as music and fine arts. And another thing I would like to highlight here would be UWA understand that nowadays students need to pick up more than just one set of knowledge if you want to be more competitive in the job market. That's why UWA actually, they are offering 4 types of undergrad degree, which are the comprehensive degree that student can actually choose to major in 2 areas. There is also specialized degree if students just want to specialize in one area. Of course, psychology would be a good example for this. In Australia, a 3-year degree is actually what we call ordinary degree. If you would like to do an honors degree, you would need to top up 1 year. So in other words, if you would like to get an honors degree in Australia, you need to spend 4 years. At UWA, UWA is actually offering a 4 years integrated honors, which means you can actually apply one time for a 4 years program so that you can graduate with an honors degree. There are also combined bachelors, or what we call sometimes refer to double degree in this case. So all of the degree program, the duration of the program will be from 3 to 4 years. Really depends on what program you are going to study. Okay, here is a campus map of the university. So at the top of the picture, you can see Perth CBD. In Australia, when we say CBD, it stands for Central Business District or the city center. So as you can see, the university is about 10 minutes drive from the city, which make it very, very convenient. Students also get 40% concession rate or 40% discount if they would like to use the public transport in Perth. So coming back to the campus map, if you see the yellow dotted line, these are the areas of the university. So you can also see UWA residences. These are the university on-campus accommodation that you can book if you are coming to study at UWA College. And then if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are some of the major buildings of the university. So first one, we have UWA Health Campus. This is where medicine students going to study. The second one would be, number 2 would be Winthrop Hall. This is actually one of the most iconic buildings of the university. Number 3, we have Eason Building. Number 4, we have Baylis Building. Number 5, we have UWA Business School. As far as I understand, University of Western Australia do not accept Japanese high school qualification to enter the degree year 1. That's why UWA College come into picture. As you can see from the photo, UWA College is actually inside the university, offering foundation and also diploma program that you can consider taking up before you progress to University of Western Australia. Okay, what make UWA College really different is the college actually is UWA own college. So in other words, the program of the college is written by the university. The college belongs to the university, and the college is actually inside the university. So if you are coming to UWA College to study foundation or diploma, you can also book the university accommodation. You do not have to worry about traveling to the city or traveling from the city for your classes, because you can just live in the university. As UWA College students, our students can also join the uni orientation or induction activities, and of course UWA College also has its own orientation days. UWA College then can also join the university clubs and societies, sports and activities. So in other words, if you come to UWA College since day 1, you are already a university student, because you will be given a uni ID and you will have access to all of the university facilities. At the moment, UWA College is offering 3 programs. The first one will be UWAFP, or what we call University of Western Australia Foundation Program, Diploma of Commerce, and Diploma of Science. In the near future, we are also planning to introduce new programs such as Diploma of Engineering and also a pre-master program. If you are familiar with the Australian academic calendar, Australian university normally have 2 intakes, February being the biggest intake, followed by July. At the college, it is a bit different that we have 3 intakes, which is February, June, and also October. But this year, we didn't have a February intake because the college just started. Our first intake this year will be June, with orientation started in June, and classes started on the 13th of June. The second intake will be October this year, with orientation started end of September. Classes commence on 3rd of October. Of course, when we are entering a new year, which is 2023, the college will then enter into a 3-trimester calendar. By then, we will have 3 intakes, which are February, June, and also October intake. 1 trimester is normally about 4 months long. Okay, well, foundation, we at the moment, we are still reviewing the entry requirement for Japanese. So if you have just completed Japanese high school, you will either be required to do a foundation program or a diploma program before you can progress to University of Western Australia. So if you are required to do, really depends on your results. If you are required to do foundation program, after you complete foundation at UWA College, you will then be guaranteed a place at UWA to start your first year bachelor degree. When students are doing their foundation program, they do compulsory subjects as well as optional subjects, depending on what degree you want to study in the future. Compulsory subjects will include academic English and communication, Australian society and study skills, and as for the elective subjects will be depending on what you want to study. For example, if you would like to do engineering, then very likely you need to do mathematics. Okay, and again, depending on your English and also your academic results, we offer foundation with two duration. One would be the extended 12 months or 3-trimester program. Another one would be the 2-trimester or 8 months program. So again, it will be depending on your results and also your English level for us to decide whether you need the 12 months or the 8 months program. And our first intake for foundation will be June this year. Some other information about the foundation program, as I have explained earlier, you will be assessed for either 8 months, 2-trimester, or 12 months, 3-trimester program. We have June intake and also October intake for the standard 8 months program. If you think you need a little bit more support because of your English and also academic results, then we will then offer you the 12 months program with either June or February next year intake. If you're looking at applying to do foundation for 8 months, you need to come with IELTS 6.0 with no band lower than 5.5. If you're looking at doing the 12 months program, then you need to come with IELTS 5.5 with no band lower than 5. Well, for foundation, normally we are asking for a qualification which is equivalent to Austrian Year 11. So for Japanese high school, in this case, we are still reviewing it. As soon as we have, because the college is new, as soon as we have the information, we will then update SAA, and SAA will then update you with the exact entry requirement. After completing foundation, students can actually progress to almost every degree at University of Western Australia. This year, the fees is set at 30,000 Aussie dollar for both 8 months and also 12 months foundation. Okay, so academic requirement, as I said, we are still reviewing the Japanese high school qualification. But what I can tell you is, as long as you have completed Japanese high school, you can apply to UWA College as a pathway to go to University of Western Australia. What we really need is really to see your score and also your English level. If you are coming from a British education system, we accept IGCSE with B and C average for 12 months foundation and also B average for 8 months foundation. If you are in the IB syllabus, we are asking for IB certificate with no less than 10 points over 4 subjects for 12 months foundation, and also 12 points over 4 subjects from IB certificate for 8 months foundation. Okay, as I said, if you apply to UWA College to do a UWA foundation, as long as you pass the foundation, you get the score that you get the score that we are asking for. You will then be guaranteed a place to do the degree that you would like to do. Yeah, just please excuse me for a while. Yep, sorry, I'm back. Yep, so after you complete foundation, you can progress to almost every degree at UWA, which include Bachelor of Commerce with all this major, from accounting to business law, economics, finance, human resource management, marketing, and also management. You can also progress to year 1, Bachelor of Business after completing foundation with major in business management, enterprise and innovation, and also global business. Other than commerce and business, you can also progress to Bachelor of Arts with all this major, from archaeology, Asian studies, Chinese studies up to philosophy. After foundation, students can also progress to year 1, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Biomedical Science with all of this major, from chemistry to computer science, marine biology, medical sciences, neuroscience, as well as public health. Okay. And moving on, I'm going to talk to you about diploma. What we are really hoping is, once the university has reviewed the Japanese requirement, we are hoping that we can actually accept Japanese high school students to our diploma program, which is equivalent to university year 1. So if the university agrees, then after you complete Japanese high school, you can then apply to UWA College diploma. And then after you complete your diploma, you will progress to year 2 of at the university. So we we have Diploma of Commerce and also Diploma of Science. As you can see from here, depends on your results and also your IELTS. There are also 8 months and 12 months option for both programs. Doesn't really matter you're applying for foundation or diploma. What we will issue you is a package offer. So if you're applying for foundation, you will get foundation plus 3 or 4 years degree offer in the package. You just need to apply visa one time to cover the whole duration of your studies. If you're applying for diploma, you will get 1 year diploma plus year 2, year 3 at the university, a package offer for 3 years. Again, you apply visa one time to cover the whole duration of your studies. Not like foundation. Foundation progress student to almost everything. For Diploma of Commerce, we can progress student to year 2 at UWA for this program, which include for Diploma of Commerce, student can progress to Bachelor of Commerce with all these major listed here. With Diploma of Commerce, student can also progress to year 2 Bachelor of Business with these 3 major. As I have mentioned earlier, UWA also offer what we call double major. UWA college student after completing foundation or diploma, they can also consider doing double major at the university. For Diploma of Science, these are the progression. So after complete 1 year Diploma of Science, student can then progress to Bachelor of Science year 2 at UWA with all this major. So as you can see, most of them are actually very health science focused program, which include neuroscience, physiology, genetics, pharmacology, chemistry. But what I want to highlight is if you can refer to the last progression here, Bachelor of Diploma of Science can also progress student to do computer science. Okay, some other information about the diploma program. Again, we have the 8 months and 12 months of option for Diploma of Commerce and also Diploma of Science, depending on your IELTS and also your results. For 8 months, we have June and October intake. For 12 months, we have June and also February intake. For 8 months, Diploma of Commerce or Diploma of Science, we are asking for IELTS 6.0 with no band lower than 5.5. For 12 months, we are asking for IELTS 5.5 with no band lower than 5. Well, entry requirement, we are actually looking for something which is equivalent to year 12 in Australia. So we will be looking at Japanese high school and see if it's possible for you to skip the foundation, but just start at diploma and then progress to year 2, year 3 at the university. At the moment, the fees is set at $33,000 for Diploma of Commerce and $36,000 for Diploma of Science. Apart from IELTS, we also accept TOEFL, PTE, and also CAE as your English qualification, but we do not accept Duolingo. Okay, so again, for diploma entry requirement, we are still reviewing the one for Japan. But like what I said, we are hoping that we can actually accept Japanese high school onto diploma. Then you just need to spend 3 years to get a degree from UWA. If you are from the Australian qualification, we are asking for ATAR 70 to gain entry diploma. If you are doing IB diploma, we are asking for minimum 24 points. If you are doing A-level, UK A-level, we are asking for 2 A-level subjects with total 5 points, which is 1C, 1D. Okay, in Australia, every university has an English center attached to it. So for University of Western Australia, the English center is called CALT or CELT. So just now I have shown you all of the English requirement if you want to apply to UWA college. If for any reason, if you miss the IELTS score by 0.5, you can then actually do a 10 weeks English at CALT. Or if you miss the IELTS score by 1.0, then you need 20 weeks. So every 0.5 that you need to IELTS score that you need to improve, you need to do 10 weeks with the at CALT. All of the English classes come in a 5 weeks block. One block is 2,050 Aussie dollar. Again, if you need English, actually you will still receive a package offer with English, let's say diploma, and then UWA program. You just need to apply visa one time to cover the whole duration of your studies. And after you complete English at Count, you do not need to sit for IELTS again. As long as you complete the English course, you can then continue with your college program and then UWA program. Okay, application process. Well, as a student, you do not have to worry because you are in good hand. If you contact SAA for your application, all you need to do is prepare your application documents from your copy of passport to your high school results and also IELTS if you have already done IELTS. And SAA will then help you to complete a global application form. As long as you provide SAA with all of the information, they will then be able to help you to submit an application. Our admission is aiming to get back to you in 48 hours, provided that you have all of the documents ready. In some cases, for Australian application, some students will also need to complete what we call GTE or genuine temporary entry. Well, this is more for to assess the risk of you applying for an Australian visa. Well, don't worry about it. If it's just a simple questionnaire, again, SAA will be able to assist you with your answer to GTE. So once you confirm that you are going to accept the offer from the college, all you need to do is just pay half of the tuition fees to accept the offer. Admission will then issue you with a document called COE or confirmation of enrollment for you to apply for your visa. Again, you will be in good hand because SAA will then assist you with your visa application. Okay, so depending on how many programs you need, if you need English, diploma, and degree, then you will get 3 COE, but you still apply visa one time to covering the whole duration of your program. If you do not need English, you just need diploma plus degree, then you will get 2 COE with 2 different COE number, but you will still apply for your visa one time. And for under 18, probably I will skip this because I believe well, I'm not too sure if you will be 18 by the time you finish your high school in Japan. But if you're under 18, just to let you know, there are certain requirements for under 18 to study in Australia. But what we can do for you is UWA have 2 types of accommodation that you can stay in. One will be homestay, another will be the university accommodation. If you're under 18, you need to pay a certain guardianship fees. UWA is using the service of ISA or International Student Advocates. As long as you stay in an approved accommodation approved by UWA, you pay your guardianship fees. UWA will then issue you with a document called CAAW if you're under 18 to apply for your visa. Again, don't worry about it. You are in good hands. SAA will be able to advise you further if you're under 18. So for accommodation, as I have mentioned earlier, the university have 5 residential colleges that you can book. So as a UWA college student, you can also stay on the campus. For homestay, homestay is actually living with an Australian family. This is normally good for under 18, but you must stay in an approved homestay that's approved by the university. The university also have some off-campus accommodation, which is about 30 minutes travel by bus from the campus, but not recommended if this is your first time studying in Australia. And of course, the last option would be private accommodation, but very often this would be what the student arrange themselves with the landlord, but we do not really recommend this option because at the end of the day, if there's any dispute, the university will not be able to help because this will be totally depend on the agreement between the student and the landlord. Yeah. Okay. And these are the accommodation that's on the campus. So we call it the college row because they are literally in a row, make up of 5 accommodation. They are just right opposite the university. It doesn't really matter which accommodation you go for. It shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to walk to your class. And this is probably this is actually my last slide, and probably the very good news for you. So since the college is new and we just launched it this year, we are offering a 25% UWA College International Launch Scholarship. So if you're applying for UWA College for this June or this October intake, there will be a 25% scholarship awarded to you. This is very much to celebrate the launch of the college, as well as, of course, the reopening of Australian border. If you are applying for foundation, the tuition fees is 30,000. The scholarship amount is 7,500. If you're applying for diploma of commerce, the fees is 33,000. Scholarship will be 8,250. If you're applying for diploma of science, the fees is 36,000 and the scholarship is 9,000. So that's the end of our presentation.